The Backroom movie by Kane Pixel is out, and depending on where you had the occasion to see it on the big screen. I haven't yet, but I succumbed to the hype and find my own screening. Let's say that. I cheated, but I will be there the 17th because this was a really entertaining watch. Caution, this review will not be spoiler free at no point, as I will use part of the plot to explain my judgment, and I will just explain the plot. It's necessary, or else it would be like describing a dog to somebody that never seen a dog. And then in this movie, we're following Clark, an owner of a furniture store going through a small life crisis. Well, maybe not that small. His shop is not popping up right now, and he is the only breadwinner in his relationship, as his wife is still going through law school. This situation led him to overwork, which led him to isolation and alcoholism. And one night, after coming back late to his house, he had a dispute with his wife about how distant he has been. It didn't end well, as he was kicked out of the house he pays bills for. A pretty shitty situation to be in, and we can be empathetic to him at this point. Due to that, he has to sleep in his shop and start seeing a therapist named Mary Klein. She has a story of her own. She grew up with a quite paranoid mother that shunned her from the world and had to watch her losing her sanity slowly. She now devotes her life trying to help people with mental health issues. She will slowly help Clark unpacking his feelings. The three other important characters are Kat, the store manager, and her boyfriend Bobby. Don't know that much about them besides the fact that Bobby has access to a camera and he will help film stuff for the store. Stuff like advertisement. The third notable character is a scientist that mainly appears at the end. Now for the misadventure. While looking for why the electricity of the building was malfunctioning, Clark finds a threshold, a bridge between the real world and the backrooms. At this point, he will explore the facility, talk about it to other people, notably the psychiatrist, and he will bring them all in the backrooms, which will lead most of them to their demise or just bullshit. This is a 1 hour and 50 minutes film, and it honestly needed more time. But let me talk about what I find impressive in the Backrooms. I will push a lot of open door here. Firstly, having a real set was really cool. Hollywood nowadays, it's a lot of CGI and green screen, and there's a feel that get lost. Not to say that CGI is not good, especially nowadays. Matter of fact, a lot of really cool shots in this movie were made with Blender. But having those real sets just had something, and also the possibility to just maybe seen it in real life. That's something really cool just for the history of movie. Secondly, the movie is not on the nose, and that's really cool. Kane is self-aware that name dropping and using some terms will kinda ruin the emphasis that the movie makes on this place being a mystery that human cannot understand. It would be unfortunate to ruin that just for some cheap moment. In the opposite, the references are actually really niche. Like, I've seen this geometry before. That is the real backroom, for those who don't know. The Obi town of Oshkosh. And that's just really cool to just know this. Clark mentioned that there is even a pool down there. Like, I'm not bad to cite everything, but when you get it, and that's really cool. But not only backroom references, but Kane Pixel references. Like, you cannot tell me that this scene is not old views coded. Like, I've seen this scene before. The backrooms are taken seriously and not just a punchline for cheap joke, and I think that's really cool, and that's something that a lot of people could fear. The horror aspect of the movie is well handled, according to me. That's kind of a sketchy topic. I think everybody got their own sensibility. It is more so that it touched on what scares me personally, like implied violence, body deformation. Like, a lot of parts in this movie are really gross, really violent, while not being that much bloody. At least not what you expect from a run-of-the-mile horror movie, I guess. One other thing is that it is really different from the web show. One thing that actually marked me was that scene, and spoiler, but I already warned you. This is the scene where Bobby dies, and there's blood. There's never blood in Kane Pixel shows. Like, that actually really disturbed me. Kane don't do blood. Honestly, that whole scene was so cool, but I don't want to spoil that much because I think that one of the scariest scene. And it shows one of the best parts of this movie is that it was able to surprise me. You could believe that with the knowledge that I have of this show, this movie wouldn't move me. But no, like I was expecting that nigga. He's not even there. Chill. Before going forward, just drop a sub real quick and check my coffee too while you're at it. The entities in this movie have been dubbed still life because we assume that they are akin to that dude. They are supposedly copies of real humans generated by the Backrooms. Their behaviors are unexplainable. Basically, some are dangerous, some are not. We theorize that it is based on the human that they copied, but we don't really know. One thing that I theorize is that they all are violent in some ways, in the same way that humans are just violent by, not by nature, but we are animals at the end of the day. Sometimes we do be violent. But anyway, my god, they are deep in there, bro. It's another thing that shocked me. They are entities galore. Well, there are like 3, but that's already, no, 4, but that's already so much more than what we expected. Even the first time that he went into the back room, like he barely makes it into it. Like it was like a 5-minute exploration, something like that. And there's already a monster rapping in his ears, bro. Like, let me go, bro. The monster designs are really cool, especially that lame dude and Pirate Clark. Oh my god. One funny thing is that when I first saw him, I thought that it was someone dressed as a settler. So I already thought of. So I was terrified. Mr. Demons are after me. But when they showed the slightly deformed face of Clark, bro, that was chills. The character of Clark is really well written. You really pity him at the start of the movie, but as more unfold and as his personality unfold, he turns into a really enjoyable antagonist. I mean, I don't know if antagonist will be the term, and unless you consider Pirate and Clark as the same. But he was definitely an interesting character to watch, nonetheless. This entire journey ended up being his therapy, only he tried to change and evolve in the back rooms, something that the domain refused. And even that, was he healing? I don't know. I don't know if just accepting that you cannot change is healing. Maybe the monster just killed him because that nigga was annoying. I don't know. But shit, that was interesting. The acting is excellent, nothing to say. That nigga Clark is a maniac, bro. I love this character. The third act and climax of this movie is incredible, and there's so much more to theorize. This movie was entertaining, for sure. But I don't have that much criticism. It's a bit of nitpicking, but I think it's cool to throw those sentiments out there to see if other people resonate with them. Firstly, the pacing of the second found footage part. It kinda threw me off. I felt like the exploration should have lasted a bit longer. I think Kane was trying to show more diverse environments during the chase scene, which creates some really cool scenes, especially if you are really not familiar with this universe. But I feel like, those downtime where you don't know what to expect. I was expecting something more akin to found footage 3, basically. Just so there will be more occasion to see, well, more. But with how the movie was set up, I understand that it was impossible. But I still find it unfortunate because, well, found footage 3 is just, for me, the best found footage Kane has done around the backrooms. Something that I regret too is not being able to see Clark's descent into madness. It is clearly implied that he spent weeks in there, like between the act 2 and the last act. But I wish we could have seen how the fear turned into fascination. I guess the revelation that he's crazy would have worked less if it was teased. But I still wish we had some hint, like just him realizing how deep the complex is. Kinda like Ravi did, like I really like found footage 3, I'm sorry. But that's really funny. Clark was just hanging around with the still lives, feeding off them. But that's really my main complaints. We low-key needed just a bit more time. But, knowing that this is connected with the web series, I actually don't think that we lost that much. And we're gonna have plenty of time to watch more. Like since the series is about to resume, maybe he will make a whole episode where it's like Clark surviving in the back rooms It seems that Asing got some footage, so stay tuned. Overall, the movie is enjoyable, and for me, when it comes to movie, that's the most important thing. You will not be bored watching the movie for me. And also, you will not be bored after. Firstly, because you got the mandated escape the backroom IRL at the end of the movie. Don't get cuffed. But also, this movie will let you with so much questions. Why are the still life aggressive sometimes? What actually attacked Bobby? Like, I do not think that was a still life. Probably not Pirate Clark, because it seems that Pirate Clark wasn't violent at the start, or maybe he was. Was Clark violent in his relationship? And like, there's so much more detail that points toward that. But like, I'm just not sure. And this whole movie is about perception and like not assuming and understand that you sometimes don't understand things. And also, there's so much little details about the backrooms. If you like the backroom, you will be inquisitive after this movie. And if you don't know the universe, you will be amazed. Anyway, follow Kane Pixel, cause he's cooking. Follow not Kane Pixel, cause the music be banging. And give more chance to the youth, and they'll be thriving. But in the meantime, see y'all niggas. Get away from me, bruh.